Hello friends, today we're going to hear a wonderful story about keeping promises and the amazing things that can happen when we are kind and helpful. It's a story about a young man named Isaac and how he found a very special friend. Do you see the woman in this picture? Her name is Rebekah. And the man she is coming to meet is Isaac. Soon, she will become his wife. But how did they meet when they lived so far apart? Let's find out how this incredible journey began. It all started with Isaac's father, a wise man named Abraham.
Abraham was getting older, and he had an important wish for his son, Isaac. He wanted Isaac to have a wife who was kind, who shared their family's values, and who would be a true partner for him. He worried about this a great deal. He knew the people living around them in the land of Canaan didn't share their beliefs. So Abraham called his most trusted servant, a man who had served his family for many years. He gave him a very important job. "I need you to make me a promise," Abraham said, his voice serious but kind. "Please, do not choose a wife for my son from the people here in Canaan. Instead, I want you to travel back to my homeland, to the city of Haran, where my relatives live. Find a wife for my son Isaac from among my own family."
The servant understood how important this promise was. He immediately prepared for the long and difficult journey. He took 10 of Abraham's best camels and loaded them with food, water, and beautiful gifts. The trip to Haran was hundreds of miles long. It would take many, many weeks of traveling across deserts and plains. Finally, after a very long time, the servant and his camels arrived near Haran. He stopped at a well just outside the city. It was late in the afternoon, the time of day when the women from the city would come to the well to collect water for their families. The servant was tired, but he knew his work was just beginning. He needed a sign, a way to know which young woman was the right one for Isaac.
So, Abraham's servant thought carefully and said a quiet prayer in his heart. He wasn't asking for a miracle, but for a sign of character. He prayed, "O Jehovah, please show me kindness today. Here is my plan. I will stand by the well, and when the young women come to get water, I will ask one for a drink. May the woman that you have chosen to be the wife of Isaac be the one who not only gives me water, but also says, 'I will get water for your camels too.'"
Before he even finished his prayer, a kind-looking young woman named Rebekah came to the well. She was graceful and had a warm smile. The servant approached her and asked, "Please, may I have a little water from your jar?" "Of course, drink," she said kindly, and she quickly lowered her jar and gave him a drink. But then, she did something truly amazing. She saw his 10 tired camels. Without being asked, she said, "I will draw water for your camels too, until they have had enough to drink." This was very hard work. Camels can drink lots and lots of water, sometimes more than 25 gallons each after a long trip. Rebekah went back and forth, filling the trough again and again until all 10 camels were satisfied. Her actions showed she was not only kind but also generous and hardworking.
The servant watched her in silent amazement. She was the one. She had done exactly what he had hoped for. When Rebekah finished, he gave her beautiful gold jewelry as a thank you gift. Then, he asked her, "Whose daughter are you? And please tell me, is there room in your father's house for us to stay overnight?" She replied, "My father is Bethuel, and yes, we have plenty of room for you to stay with us, and straw for your camels." When the servant heard the name Bethuel, his heart leaped with joy. He knew that Bethuel was the son of Abraham's own brother, Nahor. He had found Abraham's family. Overwhelmed with gratitude, the servant knelt down right there and thanked Jehovah for guiding him so perfectly.
That night, in the warm light of their home, Abraham's servant explained everything. He told Bethuel and Rebekah's brother, Laban, about his master Abraham, his son Isaac, and the promise he had made. He described his long journey and how he had prayed at the well, and how Rebekah's incredible kindness had been the sign he was looking for. When he finished his story, everyone was quiet for a moment. Then Laban and Bethuel said, "This is from Jehovah. We cannot say no. Here is Rebekah. Take her and go, and let her become the wife of your master's son."
The next morning, the servant was eager to return to Abraham. Rebekah's family asked if she could stay a little longer, but the servant wanted to complete his mission. So, they asked Rebekah directly what she wanted to do. "Will you go with this man?" they asked. Without hesitation, Rebekah said, "Yes, I will go." She was brave and ready for this new adventure. So, after warm farewells, she got on a camel, and they began the long trip back to Canaan.
After many weeks of travel, they finally arrived in the land of Canaan. As evening approached, Rebekah looked out and saw a man walking by himself in a field, seemingly deep in thought. "Who is that man?" she asked the servant. The servant replied, "That is my master, Isaac." It was Isaac. He had come out to the fields to think and pray, and he was so happy to see the caravan returning. Isaac's mother, Sarah, had passed away 3 years earlier, and he still carried the sadness of her loss in his heart. But when he met Rebekah and heard the story of her kindness, he felt a new happiness. Isaac brought her to his mother's tent, and she became his wife. He came to love Rebekah very much, and in her companionship, he found comfort and joy. His sadness began to fade, replaced by the happiness of starting a new life with his kind and wonderful wife.